And the phone just hung up, and this is game day every day. Look, boys, it's been a quick minute. We are 3 episodes behind. Sorry about that, but hey, your boys are back, okay? And there's a lot of things that have happened. Big headlines. Sunday night's game, Dallas Cowboys, Saints. Disappointing game, I will say, because we have, I think, one of the best offenses in the league, and we score 10 points.
What disappointed me was all the praise coming in for Kellen Moore and what I saw from him, too, because he seems like a great offensive coordinator. Of course, he had his rough starts the past couple of games because he just couldn't get anything done in the beginning of the game. But then he slowly built it up.
And that's what we love about him in the second half.
Came to dominating wins.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to actually have his first test against a solid team, and granted, he's not the defensive coordinator or anything, so he doesn't really control the defensive side and what happens on that side. But the offense looks stale out there. It looked like the same offense we had with Rod Marinelli or whatever his name is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looked like the offense before Amari Cooper. It was the short game. We didn't throw the ball long.
Amari barely had any touches. He only had 5. So
the longest pass was the Randall Cobb at the end of the game in that Hail Mary. That was the longest pass of the game.
What I saw from the game a lot was probably, then this is completely different from other games too, is I saw on the first play of first down, you go for a halfback dive, which would get us like 2 to 3 yards, and we're like, cool. 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7. Like, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah, we have to. I don't know what happened that game.
But other games, when I see us going for it on first down and all that, I see us, running more play action passes and stuff like that. So
more in the shotgun,
and that's where Dax excelled this year. We clearly saw I think he has 49% accuracy or 50% accuracy on play action passes this year.
He's doing great.
So he's been incredible this year on the play action, and I didn't really see much of that.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the game.
And I don't know why, but I think maybe Kellen Moore was just trying to maybe think of a different type of way to
approach.
Approach the game, because this Saints defense is no joke. It's a top 5 pass rush in the league, and we saw that. But that's his first test, and I think this coming up week against the Packers, that's gonna be another big test too, because that's another top 5 defense.
Defense played amazing too.
Yes.
I just want to add to that too, because they played incredible. Robert Quinn actually looks like the star player that he is.
Yeah, right.
And we lost to a kicker. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's the only part that sucks. But hey, we held him off to 10 points, so that's good.
So moving on.
Yeah. It's
our last year. Globe Life Park's era has come to an end. As Rangers fans, it's pretty sentimental because there's a lot of
sad.
Our first 2 World Series are in
this
park.
I grew up at this park, man. I've been to so many ball games in there. So, I mean, it was pretty hard to see. But I went to Saturday night's game. The atmosphere was insane. Waves going on everywhere. Everybody was loud.
And you're playing against the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees. And that was the cool part, too.
Yeah.
We played against the Yankees. That was like one of the teams that, made that park what it is today. Because we struck them out 2010 to go to the World Series in the first place.
So what would be your best memory then?
Okay, my best memory would probably be that 2010 pennant game when Neftali Feliz struck out. Yeah, Neftali, man, he struck out A-Rod for the last out to go to the World Series.
Him and Alexi Ogando were a solid duo in that pen.
Yeah, they were.
Honestly, I think my best memory, and it's just a game that's near and dear to my heart because I was at the game, was Josh Hamilton making his return for the Rangers and then hitting a walk-off against the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
He had a great span for that few weeks.
It was really touching. It was just really cool to see. Josh Hamilton hit a walk-off, and it was probably, I think that was his last really big game.
Yeah.
Because he came off the bench that game, and it was like a double into the gap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow. I came to this game to watch this man play, but
You didn't think that was going to happen?
I didn't think they were actually going to sub him in and pinch hit
him. I didn't think he was going to. I don't think anybody thought he was going to do that because, I mean, Josh Hamilton at that time in his career was kind of, he wasn't him.
He was hot garbage.
Yeah, he wasn't him.
He was
his dominant self. Yeah.
He was washed.
But hey, he came in and showed his true Texas Ranger colors, and I can understand why that's your best memory. The last headline is the Errol Spence Jr. versus Sean Porter fight.
Keeping it Dallas.
Yeah, keeping it Dallas.
Errol Spence, the boxer from Dallas. Last time we saw him fight, I actually went to the fight.
Yeah.
It was here in Arlington. Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia, I'm pretty sure. Mikey Garcia Mikey Garcia was one of those amazing fighters, but Errol Spence single-handedly dominated him.
Mhm.
I think it was like 300 to 100 on the punch count.
Jesus.
Just absolutely destroyed him.
That's embarrassing.
So we had a lot of build-up for the next fight, or who Errol Spence was going to be fighting next.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a couple episodes ago,
Mhm.
or maybe it was last year, where
Probably.
Errol Spence finally made his decision to fight Sean Porter.
Yeah.
And Sean Porter is one of the best in the game, too.
No, right. Yeah. This was a great fight.
One of the best pound-for-pound hitters in the game right now. So, probably one of the, and when this fight came on, I was expecting an amazing fight, but I didn't expect it to be this good and this close.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best fights I've seen in the past 2 years.
Right.
That's up there with like the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight, which
Yeah.
was incredible in its own right.
Yeah. I mean, this fight. Spence, man, he had a rough time. He took the most punches he's ever taken.
Yeah, most punches absorbed, which was 172.
Yeah, and that's
which is incredible to think about.
No, yeah, right.
Because a
And
normal boxer
that's still
kind of
low.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still kind of low, right, for boxing.
That just shows how fast he is.
Yeah.
Especially for his height and strength.
But no, but I mean the fact that he did get hit that much and him just to get the stamina and still win that fight, it was a rough fight. So
Meanwhile, on the other side, Spence 221 punches landed on Sean Porter, which is insane.
that's incredible.
37 total jabs, which were just straight up jabs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the power punches, which is a big one, 184 by Spence, 142 by Porter. But when I was watching the fight, I saw Porter was getting those somewhat big jabs where he kind of just one punch would hit really hard, and
It was just
kinda
quick.
it would kind of throw Spence off, and you'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then, you go to the hugging thing
Yeah.
where,
He would kind of slow down a little bit.
yeah, like
it
let's
hurts.
calm it down
It
for a
hurts.
second. Yeah, I'm going to lean on you for a second. Fight was incredible. Porter kept it, going to 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Finally went to decision. Spence won the first judge's vote,
Mhm.
I think 115 to 112. And then I think the other one, oh wait, no, it was 116, 112. And then the other one was 115, 111, going to Porter.
Yeah.
And then finally after that, I think Spence won that third one. And then Spence won the one
No,
off
yeah, I mean that's.
decision,
I
so-
I think both of them deserved the win, but I think Spence he landed more punches and he showed more toughness throughout the fight. And
Shout out to Dallas.
yeah, yes
Errol
sir.
Spence getting it done for the hometown.
All right, moving on to NBA. Sports Illustrated and ESPN released their top 100 players in the league list. We printed out like 30 to the 50 best players, and some of these, this is ridiculous. Look, man.
Bring out the big one.
Yeah,
Bring out the big one.
the big one is Zion Williamson. Look, great talent. He's ranked at 42. But get this, Klay Thompson is ranked at 49. Zion Williamson is actually above Klay Thompson.
Mhm.
Gus, what do you think of this, man? Is this disrespectful?
I think it's completely disrespectful, but at the same point, I think this is maybe their thought process was who's going to be the better player this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Klay Thompson is coming off an injury, and
Right.
I don't think he's going to get any playing time this year.
Not much. No.
I don't think he's going to play.
You
at
know,
all
I
this year.
think
unless they.
I think that's smart because the same for the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
my point is, Zion Williamson could possibly have a better year than Klay Thompson
Mhm.
because Klay Thompson doesn't play the year. So
Right.
it's pretty disrespectful though.
Yeah.
I still feel like Klay would. Probably be a better player.
But I just mean like this.
We haven't seen Porzingis play in forever, and look where Porzingis is ranked.
Porzingis is at 37th, I think. Yeah.
We haven't seen Porzingis play in like a year
right,
and a half.
Right. Yeah. And
So-
I think that's a little high too. I totally agree with
We
you.
both like the Mavs.
Yeah.
And I even think that's kind of insane to put
Mhm.
Porzingis that high
Right.
because we haven't seen him play. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be real.
I mean, the last time we saw him play was, I think he was averaging, 20 points, a little rebound there, a little assist there.
Who else stood out to you on that list?
What else stood out to me was Chris Paul. He's at 32. Look, man,
He's kind of washed.
Chris Paul, great point guard. Don't get me wrong, but in Houston, he couldn't get it done. He was not healthy. He was never consistent.
Now-
And he just, no.
If he couldn't get it done in Houston, what do you think he's going to do in OKC?
And with no help.
Exactly.
No help.
What? Andre Roberson's going to start dropping 20 per game?
No.
If I ever see Andre Roberson start dropping 20 per game, I will get a tattoo of Andre Roberson on my arm.
Yeah,
No-
no,
no
dude.
joke.
Andre Roberson is just
I'm
a
willing to
defensive
bet that.
player.
Because that's not going to start happening.
Yeah.
And, of course, he has Steven Adams, but I don't see Steven Adams being, too crazy of a contributor on
No,
the
right.
offense.
No, I mean, Steven Adams, that's just a great guy to have in the middle for defense and just a
No,
few
yeah.
lobs here and there.
He's great in the post.
No, yeah. But, Chris Paul, he can't lead the team by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we're going to see Chris Paul continue to decline in his career. And, I mean, this is kind of sad, man, because Chris Paul, he's a great point guard. He should have had successful years on the Clippers
No, yeah.
and the Rockets. But he just couldn't get it done.
Where's Vucevic ranked?
Vucevic.
I think I might have seen him on that.
He's number 40, which I think is a good spot.
They put Vucevic
Yes.
at 40?
Yeah, I know, right?
He's an all-star.
He's an all-star and led the Magic
He's
to the playoffs.
He's an all-star. Single-handedly, like you said, carried
Yeah.
the Magic to the playoffs.
And beat the Raptors in a game.
You put him at 40?
Yeah, that's
This whole
just-
list.
They put Jason Tatum above him, and Chris Middleton.
They put Jason Tatum, the man who was averaging like 5 points per game in the playoffs,
Yeah.
over a dude who single-handedly carried them and got a win over a team.
And they put injured Victor Oladipo above him at 33.
Well, I hope Oladipo plays
Yeah.
well this year.
No,
So,
but
Jason Tatum
No,
over
I mean, yeah.
Vucevic?
Look, man, and I think one more person on this list that kind of surprises me that he's even this high is Kevin Love.
We haven't seen anything with
He's
Kevin
at
Love.
he's at 43.
I honestly forgot he played.
Like honestly, dude, honestly. And Kevin Love, I have much respect and love for K-Love. That man used to be great. And then he had LeBron. He didn't do nothing, but I mean, it's still big games. He would show up and close the games. But now,
2016. Those are the good times.
yeah, those were the good times.
But,
I missed the 20 and 10 K-Love. But look, man,
yeah,
this man does not deserve to be 43. I think he's maybe low 70s. If that, I don't know. We just need to see him play and actually win a ball game.
Main point is this list is stupid, and let's move on to the next topic. Moving on.
All right, NFL and NCAA.
We had Week 4's biggest games. Really big week. I mean, we already talked about the Cowboys, and
Yeah.
that was a disappointing week for us. A big game that stood out to me was the undefeated Lions, who are 2-0-1,
Mm-hmm.
going against the Chiefs, who are 4-0 or
Lions,
3-0.
man, they're underrated.
And we've been stating for a while now.
Yeah.
We've been hyping up the Lions for a while. I know I've hyped up Matthew Stafford this whole time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And it was a close game. I think people finally figured out that Kerryon Johnson's starting to
Mhm.
become a solid running back
Right.
to be along with Matthew Stafford in the backfield. We saw guys like Marvin Jones and all them play really well.
They have the offense. They have a deep threat now.
And sadly, T.J. Hawkinson was injured,
Yeah.
which is a pretty big tight end, the rookie.
Mhm.
He had a touchdown last game too, but the Chiefs came away with the 30-30 win, and there was some controversy too on a
Yeah.
PI call, but
Mhm.
it can go both ways.
I mean,
so,
but what can you do? It's the Chiefs. You really can't guard them anyway.
mhm.
So,
Any other games?
a game that stood out to me, the Browns and Ravens. The Browns had their breakout game. Baker Mayfield looked great. Baker Mayfield, 20 for 30, 342 yards, and only one touchdown. But, yeah, Baker, he looked great, all right? He
Especially
looked mobile.
against the supposedly amazing Ravens defense
No,
too.
and it is, and that's surprising to see, especially against the Ravens. Jarvis Landry, he had a breakout game, almost 200 yards. Nick Chubb, 20 carries for almost 170 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Key part though is Odell. Odell only had 2 catches.
Yep. Oh well, why would you rely on that? I mean, they're gonna double him every time.
Yeah,
So I
that's
mean,
true.
you really can't. You don't have any option there.
But when I saw Nick Chubb playing in that game, it looked like he was running on a playground. It was
Yeah, no,
it
yeah.
was crazy.
It's crazy to see a Ravens defense get shredded like that.
Mhm.
But honestly, I don't think that's gonna happen again.
I don't see Nick Chubb putting up those stats
No, yeah,
again this
exactly.
season.
But no,
And no offense, I hope he does, but
yeah.
I don't see him.
No,
doing
but
it
I
again.
think this is a great game for the Browns. Great momentum, and this will give them confidence.
Final game.
Final game: the Buccaneers and Rams.
Big one.
Buccaneers.
Big one.
They
Shout
they
out.
showed out.
Shout out
against the Rams.
Xavier.
Yeah, shout out Xavier. Yeah. Jameis Winston. He finally showed that he's actually a decent quarterback. 385, 4 touchdowns.
Decent. That's pushing it.
All right. Well, whatever.
The
Okay.
crab thief.
No. But dude, his man was Chris Godwin, and that's surprising to say because he has Mike Evans, a top 10 receiver in the
Mike
league.
Evans didn't do half bad either.
No, I mean, yeah, he had what did I say earlier?
80
60.
89 yards.
Yeah,
or
89
something.
yards for I think 5-7 receptions. But no, Chris Godwin, he had a breakout game, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. That man he was catching everything.
He was playing incredible. I
Yeah.
can't deny that. Jared Goff looked a little shaky in that game too.
No, yeah, he did. He had 3 picks.
He might have had 500 yards, 2 TDs, but
Mm.
that's not too hard when you're in a shootout like that.
Yeah,
So.
he threw 68 times. Imagine how that's hard to do in a football game.
And I feel like Todd Gurley still performed better, and he barely had any touches.
Yeah, but hey, the Rams are still a great team. Yeah, this is 1 loss, so
They'll get over it.
Yeah.
Moving on. Advanced polls. College
NCAA,
football.
yes.
Week 6, we had some movement this week. We had LSU drop out of the top 4. And jumping into the top 4 is Ohio State with a big win over
Maryland.
a very hyped team. No, Nebraska.
No, Nebraska.
The Cornhuskers.
Yeah.
They had a lot of hype because D-Wade was there this weekend. Rick Ross was there. Gabrielle Union. It's like all of Miami.
Dude, why did everybody go to the game?
It's like everyone from Miami went up to the game. Yeah, so they all went to that Nebraska game. The College Game Day was there for some reason, and I predicted this. I said Ohio State's going to dominate Nebraska because Nebraska isn't a good team.
No, not really. But I mean, this isn't surprising from Ohio State. They're always a great team.
People say Martinez is the next thing up, but I haven't seen anything from Martinez to show me that he's the next thing up. He didn't perform well in his freshman year, and sure enough, he didn't perform well enough to show me that he's a good enough quarterback this year. So, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it'll take him that 1 year, Gus.
Maybe. But Ohio State wins that game 48-7.
Yeah.
Moving on, another big ranked game. Notre Dame versus Virginia.
Notre Dame.
Battle of the ranked teams.
Yes, that Notre Dame pulled out the win.
35-20. Virginia kept it pretty close for most of the game.
Yeah.
It seemed like, they were neck and neck at one point. But, of course, Notre Dame somehow always pulls it out. And I hate saying that, but they are starting to look like a solid team this year.
Yeah, they have the run game.
I mean,
and that can kill every team.
And if they beat Georgia this year, I would hide in the shadows. I would never show my face around here.
The shadow knows.
So I'm glad Georgia beat this Notre Dame team.
Yeah.
Another big game was USC versus Washington. Washington, they were ranked 19th last week.
Wow.
And USC was ranked 21st, and they picked up a 28-14 win.
Heck yeah.
Now,
USC, we don't like to see them win.
Now, granted, USC had their third string in.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
But hey, they're still ranked.
I have realized now that we have talked about USC and FSU all year in the majority of episodes.
Yeah, I think it's been like a few episodes in a row.
And I don't know why.
I think we need to stop.
They're not good teams. I don't know why we keep following them. The unranked Arizona State, led by Herm Edwards, the former ESPN analyst. He
showed up to the game.
He's the head coach of Arizona State.
Oh, wow.
So they were unranked, and they were 3-1 coming into this game, and then they were going against number 15 Cal, which is Cal Golden Bears. They're always a solid team every year. Picked up a 24-17 win. Another close win for Arizona State.
Wow, an upset as well.
I mean, not much. I didn't really watch much of that game, so I can't really say a lot about that game. So, but Arizona State's definitely on the rise, especially after the week before they had that big field goal for the win.
No, right, yeah.
So, and then finally, keeping it Dallas again. SMU is officially ranked for the first time since 1987.
That's great.
That was the last time the death penalty was enforced. If you are unaware of the death penalty, you should go read up on it or watch the 30 for 30, the Pony Express.
Google it.
It's an incredible story, so I recommend you go watch the Pony Express 30 for 30. It's incredible.
No, man, it's great to see a Dallas team do as well.
It's good to see a resurrection in Dallas football. I mean, we haven't seen Dallas college football perform this well in a while.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm taking away Fort Worth part of it too.
Yeah, not
TCU has obviously performed well.
Right.
But for a Dallas team to be 5-0 right now is pretty good time.
No, yeah, and I think they'll keep it up. I mean, they might take a few L's, but
But they destroyed South Florida this past weekend, 48-21. So go Stangs.
Yeah. Keep the offense up, boys.
Now, finally, we are going to be talking about the MLB wild card.
Yep.
And we're just going to make some quick predictions on that.
Okay.
Oakland versus Tampa Bay.
I like Tampa Bay in this one. I mean, the A's, they're great, but I don't know. I feel like they lost too many big series this year, and I don't really think they can close out games as well as the Rays can. At least from what I've seen in a few games I've watched. So I have the Rays.
I'm going to go opposite of you. I'm going to pick Oakland. Oakland has shown me that they have one of the best players in the league, and Marcus Semien, who's incredible. He's the MVP candidate for the AL side. You have Matt Chapman, one of the best home run hitting third baseman in the league. You have Laureano in the outfield. You have a whole bunch of these guys.
Yeah,
They're
definitely stacked.
I don't know if Piscotty's playing or not, but he's pretty good too. So, and Tampa Bay's looked a little shaky with their bullpen this year, which scares me a bit because they seem a little unexperienced with the playoffs too, because they're a pretty young team.
Yeah, right. That could happen too.
But it's a little weird seeing Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I feel like it'll be a very energetic series, and I think it'll be exciting. So
a 1-game series.
Oh, it's only one game. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I mean, then
winner go home.
Yeah, I have the Rays.
I got Oakland. Moving on. Bit better of the game, and this game's actually tonight. Milwaukee versus Washington. I have to go with Washington.
Yeah, I think Washington's definitely favored. Yes.
Washington has looked a little shaky for me, just for the main fact that I'm a Mets fan. I watch a lot of Mets games, and every time the Mets would play Washington would blow a lead all the time. So Washington's bullpen's kind of a concern for me. Sean Doolittle hasn't had one of the best years, even though he has been considered one of the best lefty relievers in the league. But I got to go with Washington still.
Well, let's see.
You have Anthony Rendon on the offense. You have Max Scherzer as your pitcher.
Who's at home? Washington's at home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Washington.
Yeah. Well, then Washington probably win the game because they're really beat it. It's really hard to beat them at home.
Where's Bryce Harper right now?
Philadelphia.
Took all that money and went home to Philly.
Hey.
And guess what?
That's what it's all about, man. Money.
Sitting on the couch too.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about sports anymore.
Watching his former team play well. I do think Milwaukee would put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Ryan Braun has played incredible these past couple games, especially now that Yelich is out for the rest of the year, which is pretty tragic.
I mean, also, what I said earlier, they're 9-1 in their last 10 games.
They played incredible.
They have great momentum, so they might pull it out.
And shout out Joe Madden for retiring, a Cubs legend, of course.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Won the World Series with them. It was probably one of the greatest series I've ever seen in my life.
Does your mom know about this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's a bittersweet moment for the Cubs, but it's definitely it's gonna be a sad moment. It's gonna be interesting to see where the Cubs go after this.
Yeah,
we'll see who they pick up for.
I mean, they'll probably just go another losing streak again.
I heard David Ross was thinking about joining.
Oh,
the catcher.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I
think he was thinking about joining as a manager. He wouldn't mind the idea.
Heck yeah.
But
that'd be fun to see.
Moving on to our last segment.
Last segment, boys, predictions.
We had predictions set up last week, but of course we didn't film.
Yeah.
But we already had them set in place.
Yep. So week 5.
Week 5, I was up 16-6.
Yep. Getting obliterated.
Yeah. Not much has changed. We actually ended up split this week. So I picked for the Kansas State versus Oklahoma State game. I picked Kansas State. He picked Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State won that game.
Yep.
16-7.
Let's go.
Washington State versus Utah. We both picked Washington State. I thought it was going to be a bigger game from Washington State.
Yeah. Well, Utah's a better team, I guess, and they're also ranked.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, Utah would obviously pick up the win, so that doesn't count for both of us. Now, moving on to a game that's kind of close to us in its own right. It's Kentucky versus South Carolina. We both somewhat like these teams.
I mean, yeah, that's
your favorite team. But
yeah, that's
South Carolina. I live there, so I kind of have like a little attachment with them.
You got to root for them.
So I chose South Carolina. You chose Kentucky. South Carolina picked up a big win over Kentucky, and
dude, we're losing all the big games this year. This is freaking annoying.
You're gonna start losing the rest too.
Yeah, whatever.
So what does that make the score? That makes it
17-7. Yep.
Now moving on, Jacksonville versus Denver. I picked Jacksonville. He picked Denver, and Jacksonville won.
I feel so bad for Denver, dude. They've lost.
Gardner Minshew's played incredible these past couple games, and Von Miller, I feel bad because he's gonna be stuck on a team that's gonna be stuck.
Well, dude, they've lost at the buzzer 3 times. It's sad.
The problem isn't the team. The problem is the general manager, which is John Elway.
Oh.
John Elway hasn't built together a team ever since the Super Bowl, so it's been kind of concerning. But so 18-7, and then Crystal Palace versus Norwich. This was our one Premier League game that we do.
Soccer game. That was just a random pick for me.
And I chose Norwich because I thought Pookie was gonna play well, but Crystal Palace picked up the win, and 18-8 is your final score for the week.
Your boy JD is 10 away. I'm going to come back, Gus. I don't care what you say. All right.
Yeah,
I'm coming back. Before the show ends, I want to give a huge shout out to Lake Tawakoni, Michael Littlejohn Guide Service. I went fishing with him yesterday. I've been going to him for years. That man always provides us with the fish and fillets. Man, he always get us to the fish and get it done. So yeah, make sure to check him out, laketawakoni.com, or check him out on Facebook, Michael Littlejohn. So yeah, that was just my shout out because I gotta help my boy out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all right, boys. This is Game Day Every Day, episode 46. I'm Jackson. That's Tyler Gus, and we'll see you in 47 on Thursday. Later, boys.
Adios.